The Augustana College Women's Basketball Report is brought to you by the Argus Leader.
With me now is Augustana women's basketball coach Dave Krauth. Dave, great to be back home in the friendly confines of the Elmen Center. The Vikings last weekend started out on Friday night, kind of a dangerous game against a team that hadn't won a conference game. Upper Iowa won that one, and then a nice win over Winona State. Let's start with the Upper Iowa game first.
Well, Upper Iowa, of course, has had a little bit of troubles. They went through a coaching change 2 weeks ago and also dismissed their best player. So, you know, especially on the road, they appeared to be kind of a reeling team that hadn't had much success. And I think we kind of jumped out and took advantage of that situation and really had a very good game and got a lot of minutes for a lot of kids, and it worked out about as well as it could.
It looked like the gals were hungry after the disappointing loss down at Wayne. We came out with a lot of energy, and then we kept it going against Winona on Saturday night.
Yeah, and Winona is a very good team. I think with such deep balance on the women's side, you almost forget about those kind of good teams that are in the league because they don't have a record that just leaps out at you, but they're a very solid team, a little bit young this year. And we, again, it just seemed to carry over from Friday night. We had over a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio on those two nights, and that for a team is just about unheard of, but it was just kind of an indication of the way we were playing.
Yeah, really sharp. Of course, a disappointing loss last week, Christy Board with a broken foot. Talk about losing her.
Well, and she probably, from last year to this, was the kid that had made the greatest strides and really was having such a good year for us. Tough guard for other teams. We're not as good without her. There just isn't any two ways. But, you know, we had some kids that filled in pretty well at home. Now we're going to have, of course, you know, the opportunity to see if we can do some of the same on the road and to finish out the year. But disappointing for her, but she did have a good year.
Yeah, a lot of good performances, but the Energizer Bunny, like I call her, Megan Doyle, she had a great weekend.
Yeah, I thought it was just about as good a weekend as she could have, and the energy probably was the key thing, but she just made plays, got a lot of steals, scored, and it was very contagious.
Yeah, great wins, Dave, and the Vikings now heading into the weekend here at 18-5, 12-4 in the NSIC. Tough weekend. Of course, we're filming this ahead of Northern, which we would have played last night, and then Mary last night, and then Northern tonight. Talk about the weekend.
Well, that was last year we started off the year with that road trip and literally embarrassed ourselves both games. The scores weren't all that lopsided or anything, but we lost them both and just played so badly. Both teams, they kind of mark us on their calendar. Mary's a little dinged up, and we'll see. Northern, of course, is well, they're really coming on strong and playing very well. So it'll be a tough one, a tough road trip.
Yeah, and it's a tough trip, a lot of miles, and then we follow that with another road trip and another tough game over at Minnesota State Mankato this coming Wednesday night.
They're not the national champion they were a year ago, but they are a good team, at home especially, a good team, and we'll have our hands full, and then of course follow up. With Duluth, and those games are, you know, just have the potential to be huge as far as seedings and jockeying for spots in the conference tournament.
Yeah, well, we're looking good right now for a first round, knock on wood, home NSIC playoff game right after the season here. And then, of course, the NCAA regional. It's just like we've talked all along, Dave. You just got to keep going one day at a time.
Yeah, it really is. We are really on, you know, I don't want to call us a bubble team yet or anything like that, but in both situations, we're jockeying for home in the conference tournament and just hoping we can kind of hang on to a spot in that regional rankings. And the season's gone well.
Yeah, it's been a great year. So good luck to you and the Vikings.
Thanks, Bill.
Up next, Augie Sports Focus. Stay with us.